lower dollar plays. We continue to like dividend plays, and we continue to like energy plays.
So Scott, thank you for joining me on the line. Now today we'll be discussing the US market in the era of the President Donald Trump. So starting off, how has the markets reacted to President Donald Trump?
Well, first, thanks for having me. It's great to be with you today. The market's gone substantially higher, and it began the day after the election. There was almost no sell-off, and the market has moved substantially higher. I think we're up, mid-double digits since the November elections, and even the blips have been fairly small. So I think it's fair to say that the stock market, at least so far, is happy with the Trump administration. You could even argue that they love the Trump administration.
And that definitely is something that we have been seeing. It was almost immediately after Donald Trump entered office that the markets did start to head higher. So why does the markets keep going higher?
Well, the conventional wisdom is that the market likes the idea of a tax cut. A tax cut for wealthy people, and especially a tax cut for corporations. And the tax cuts that have been proposed for corporations are fairly enormous. It would lead to a substantial increase in profits for all those U.S. companies, and obviously, greater profits means greater value.
Fantastic. And Scott, you are speaking on behalf of an asset management company in the United States. So what do professional investors in the U.S. expect going forward?
I think there's some confusion. There's still a lot of people out there that think the Trump administration is going to fall on its face. We have another president now, and I think it's been a process over many decades where we have gone back and forth from a more scholarly type of president to a president who's more of a cowboy. And, we've got that cowboy president right now. History says the market does pretty well with both types of presidents. The fear is that we won't get the tax cuts, and that healthcare reform will fall on its face, and that'll bring the market tumbling down. And there's still a lot of people arguing that that's what's going to happen. Personally, I think it's a bad idea to bet against the tape. The market's strong right now. We haven't had a sustained, multi-year rally, multi-decade rally since since the 80s and 90s. I think we may be on the verge of historic new highs during the Trump era.
Fantastic. And now we have spoken a little bit about Donald Trump. And as a businessman, Donald Trump has mentioned the fact that other currencies could perhaps be seen as currency manipulators, and he does ideally wish for the dollar to head lower. So in that opinion, what would you think about the US dollar heading lower? Is that something that's data-driven, or is that more Trump-driven?
Well, we've kind of talked about this before, but first let me say I think Trump says a lot of things. He tweets all the time. There are many, including myself, who lament the fact that he tweets all the time and often comes off looking foolish. Over time, that constant repetition of noise turns it into just that. It becomes more and more noise. Now, in terms of the lower dollar, that's a multi-decade trend that goes back to the middle 70s. The dollar constantly has gone lower over that period. It blips up sporadically, but the general trend is down. You could argue that there are a whole lot of companies in the United States, companies with household names like Coca-Cola, Johnson & Johnson, Microsoft, Google. All of these companies have substantial overseas sales, and their profits benefit from a lower dollar. And so you ask, where are we investing? We continue to like lower dollar plays. We continue to like dividend plays, and we continue to like energy plays, specifically electrical energy.
Fantastic. Well, Scott, thank you so much for joining me on the line.
Oh, it was great being here. Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. Well, that's all from myself and Scott here in the Geneva studios, but we want to hear how you found this interview, so please do like and comment on dukascopy.tv.